in the next minute or two, if anyone wants to come around and watch us make a pumpkin.
I want to watch.
Oh, we already got a couple volunteers up here. So feel free to gather around. Once my brother gets his butt up here, we'll get this party started. I'm preheating that in my pipe basically until it starts to glow, which is around 11 or 1200 degrees. So once it starts to glow, then I will take a gather, which means I'm going to scoop glass out of the furnace, and then we'll get this party started. And now, I need, come on, Tate. This is a two-man sport, and Tate's over there just eating popcorn on the job over here. So I'm Aaron. Me and Tate we're brothers, if you didn't pick that one up already. We're 2B Glass. We're the ones that make most of the pumpkins out there. We're not the only ones that have pumpkins out there. I think there's 6 other artists. So if you look at the tags, depending on which pumpkin you get is the person you're getting it from. We're all local artists. We're basically all friends. But they're all glass. They're all made the same way. So we'll start one here for you guys so you guys can kind of see how one's made. And if you guys have any questions, wait for the end and come ask us questions at the end. And then let's get this party started. Alright, so Aaron just opened the door of the furnace. So this unit here this is our little mobile baby furnace. So this holds like 10 or 15 pounds of molten glass. Aaron just grabbed a blowpipe. He's spinning it up in there. The glass is like the consistency of honey, so he just got what's called a gather. And so you guys will see here, Aaron stops turning. Right, you're gonna see that would totally fall right on the ground. So we don't want that to happen. Now that's just clear glass. It just looks orange because it's 2,000 degrees.
Wow.
Aaron just put on a bunch of color, which he'll show you. So he just rolled in this scoop here, which looks like this. And this is called frit, which is crushed up colored chunks of colored glass. So this is one of the ways that we can get color on the glass. So we start with clear glass and then we add the color on later. On this one it's not as important, but at our furnace at the shop that melts the clear glass, it holds 1,000 pounds of clear glass. This one only holds about 10. So we always start with the clear glass because we want to be able to do a bunch of different colors, where if we just melted dark blue, we'd be stuck with dark blue for a week and a half. So now Aaron is going to come over here. He melted all that color in, and so it's all stuck together now. It's all one piece of glass because he melted it at 2,000 degrees. He just squeezed all of that glass off the end of the pipe because we want to try to use as much of it as we can. Now he's trying to make sure that this is perfectly straight and smooth and even, because if it's not, his bubble's not going to blow out. He just blew really hard in the end, caught the air there with his finger. If you guys watch close, you'll see it gets bigger, it gets bigger. So the heat of the glass expands the air, which then shoots out his bubble. Now we're making a mini pumpkin right now. So Aaron is going to condense down his bubble here too. So his next move, hold on a second. We're gonna try to go in this thing called an optic mold, which has a bunch of ridges in. This is one of the ways we get the ridges on the pumpkin is this mold, and this is made out of brass. So this is gonna sit down here on the floor. Aaron, hopefully he'll come out for a second. Aaron has this big long tube, and hopefully his bubble is all the way to the bottom. He's going to get that really hot. He's going to stick it in there, and then he's going to blow as hard as he can. And then, if all goes well, the glass is going to take the shape of that mold, and that's how we're going to get the ridges on. As you can see how much the glass is moving down in there. He's going to blow really hard. He's going to catch there, boom. All of the glass took the ridges there. And then, now we're going to blow this up into a pumpkin. So if you haven't been paying attention, this would be the part to pay attention to. So now we have all those ridges there. I'm going to blow, and Aaron's going to put a little constriction right off the end of the pipe here. So this is where we're a two-man sport.
Does it get bigger?
So I'm blowing, Aaron's creating that constriction right off the end of the pipe. Now, you guys might not be able to tell that the glass is moving very much, but if you guys, Aaron stops turning, you can see how fast that's moving right now. Aaron's just doing a really good job of keeping it turning. So now this is starting to look a little bit more like a pumpkin, right? So now we're gonna switch jobs because I do the stems and Aaron makes the bodies. All right, so now this isn't making sense. That's the pumpkin like that, right? So no pumpkin is complete without a stem. So Tate's making the stem here. So he's basically gonna do the same thing I just did, but he's gonna do it solid. So you can go ahead and come on, Tate. If I wait too long, my pumpkin will explode. So if this gets too cold, my pumpkin will basically just explode. So when I mean too cold is like it drops below like 800 degrees. So I'm going to stick this back in here just to keep it kind of toasty. And I'm not going to be able to fit. Now I'll be able to fit. So this is called flashing. This is just means I'm sticking it in there. I'm just keeping it warm, but I'm not getting it too hot. We'll start to move. So Tate just rolled in some black, and then he's gonna squeeze it off the end. He's doing, like I said, he's doing something pretty similar to what I just did. And he's also gonna go in another mold, just like what I did, because all of our stems have texture. So I'm gonna hit this off, and then he'll come right by with the stem.
Can you hold the board from the side when I go for the center? Sure.
Now I just hit the pumpkin off. Tate just won another mold for the stem. And now I'm going to come over here, hold this for Tate, make sure not to burn my little fingers. So he's going to push down, he's going to pull up, and then he's going to grab a stick and he's going to go for the curls. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then he's going to go flip, stick, hopefully still have enough heat to bring it around town. Now that's starting to look like a pumpkin. So this is kind of the hardest part, even though it doesn't look like it. We just got a little bit of practice. Because this stem now is rock hard. So Tate will kind of show you. You'll hit it. It's like that stem is now rock hard. Because we have to make it that fast. What makes this harder as well is because we only have the one shot to do it. So when Tate sticks the glass to the pumpkin, that is the only shot you get. Because once glass sticks to hot glass, you ain't unsticking it. So now Tate's going to torch in that last little bit, so make sure it's nice and smooth, make sure it's not sharp. Now he's going to pick this up. Now that's the finished pumpkin. Does that look good?
Yeah.
Wow! Never seen a pumpkin before that looks so cool. So now Tate's going to put that in there. That's going to sit at 915 degrees. So that's above the stress point for glass, but below the moving temperature. So that will live in there until tomorrow. It takes about 16 to 20 hours to cool down. As soon as we're done with today, we'll run a program that will allow us to like slowly come down to temperature. So we won't see that pumpkin until like 10 or 12 tomorrow, and then the final pumpkin will be finished. So we also, the colors might change in there as well. And I always like to remind everyone at the end of the demo, all what we just did is what we have to do for every single pumpkin that's out there. So we literally make pumpkins starting in January for you guys. So if you guys have any questions or you want to see more glass blowing, feel free to come to our shop in Cameron Park. We blow glass 5 days a week. If you guys have questions, you guys can come up and ask us now. We love talking glass with you guys. If not, have a great rest of your weekend, and thanks for checking us out. We're 2 Big Glass. We're the ones that put on the show. Feel free to grab some pumpkins, some free popcorn. And then if you just missed it or you just came in and you only saw half of it, we'll start another one in about 10 or 15 minutes. And then we get to do this all over again. Thanks, guys.